welcome back to my channel. I'm going to show you how to make a flat using Canva. So let's get started.
Hi guys, for this video you definitely need to have a Canva account. You need to have your design and all the little pieces already put together. You don't need to, for example, so this is my second storyboard that I made online. It's called Inspired by Art. And yes, I have a hand-drawn illustration and a hand-drawn flat, and this is acceptable. It would make it, it's still considered digital because in order, yes, I did this by hand, but I had to upload it to put it on my digital storyboard. So having hand-drawn components on your storyboard makes it digital, if that makes sense. So you don't have to put this and create everything on a computer. You can definitely do hand-drawn elements and put it on your digital storyboard. If you are up for the challenge and want to go and challenge yourself, then this video is for you. So what I did, this is my illustration. Illustration is the fun artistic of getting your design out, and then your flat is giving you an outline and more details and breakdown of your design. So what I did was turn this flat into this. And to do that, you do need to have your design. So what I did was get up here. I'm the type of person who has to like sketch over things and outline. If you can do things by hand, by all means, you don't have to do this step, but this is the way my brain works. So I had this uploaded. What I did was duplicate it, and I dragged it all the way down. So what you can also do is you can duplicate a page, so that would duplicate it. And then what I did was delete everything. So I had deleted this, and I had deleted this, and all I had was this. And of course you can make it really big or really small. For time's sake, I would say do it big, because depending on your design and how detailed or little components it may take a while. And working on something really small is kind of hard. So I would zoom it in, and then you can always then go back from here and make it small, and I will show you all those steps. But when you do this, when you do any kind of flat, there's two things you're going to do on Canva. So Canva, unfortunately, you can't draw like from hand or use one of those cool pen tools. You do have to use elements. When you go to elements, you're going to have lines and shapes. For this particular design, you're just going to use lines. So from here, you would go and shorten it and keep going. And that's all you're doing, is playing around with shapes. Now, again, depending on your design is going to depend how tedious it's going to be, how long it's going to take. So full disclosure, this original flat took me a good 30 minutes. And because I'm going to zoom in and out to give you more details, I had to go in there and then try to fix the lines and tilt it. And you're also going to see how some lines are thicker than others. That's okay, that happens. And it's going to happen because when you do this with lines, it doesn't give you the opportunity to change the thickness. Oh, it does. This is a new feature because when I first created it, I did not have this option. But, so now you can. So now up here it gives you different line weight. You can make it really big, you can make it really thin. I'm really excited about this. I made this back in a couple of months. I haven't touched this in a few months, and now I'm going back to do this video. And I'm excited. This is a new feature, so this is very, very perfect for those who are trying to make a flat. But basically, you're going to get your lines. Sometimes you can just duplicate it. They'll be copied on the side. And that's the beauty about designs that are symmetrical, is that you don't always have to recreate the wheel. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a copy. And actually, I want the line to be the same, so I have it at 10. Let's get this line and put that 10. Awesome. Now you're also going to realize that my flat is not super, I guess, symmetrical. It's a little off. It's not super correct. When you do flats, you definitely want to use a ruler to make it as straight as possible. So definitely work on your flats. Don't just rough it like I did. You want to be better, right? And make sure that your design is completely understood. Right, so that's basically what you do for your flat. You're just going to go over it, and so it's okay if it's not identical, because again, if you look at my hand drawings, it looks crooked. But you want to make it as straight and possible as it can be. And depending on your design, it can take a very good while, and it can be very tedious. So my tip for that is take your time. You don't have to do all of it at once. And then again, also think about your design. Your design may not be complicated. You may not have all these little details that you need to incorporate. It may be less, because you also have to think about the categories. For the text 4H digital storyboard, there's a lot of different categories that you can participate in. And I'm going to show you another flat that you can do that only requires shapes. Because if you think of any drawing in general, whether it's an illustration or a flat, it's lines and shapes. That's what you're dealing with. So basically, you would do a fast version of this. You keep going and adding all the details. And then what happens is, let me move this down so you can see. Is then you're going to have to group it together. And once you do that, this is all with using lines. Now, let's say you do a different storyboard category, like I mentioned earlier, there's different storyboard categories out there. And you're doing a home decor. And for this example, I'm using a throw pillow. Now, really quick about home decor and pillows. Or not home decor and pillows. In general, you want to have your own design. For this one, I am just using a picture off the internet and giving credit where credit's due. This image is from Anthropology. But you want to have an original design for your contest. Remember that. You have to have an original design. Don't be copying off the internet. For time's sake, I'm just going to show you how to also do an outline using shapes instead of lines and get the job done. So I'm using this pillow from Anthropology, but again, you have to use an original design. And ideally, I like to work with everything big before and then making it small. So for this one, there is different shapes. This one's filled. You don't want to use it filled. So if you scroll down, you're going to see some that are outlined. So this one has a round curve. And you're like, oh, that seems realistic. Like to use a curved one. And you can. But it's okay also at the same time if you want to use the pillow and it has sharp corners. The whole point is to get the flat in there. It doesn't mean it has to be completely identical to your flat illustration. Because like if you remember this one, this one's a little off key. It's not completely straight. And when you're making a flat, you want it to be super straight as possible. So we have that. And then we have, if you look at the little components, they have little balls, little stuff, detail balls. So then you would go over here and add it. And you would keep going all the way around, and this would be your outline. Now, some of you are like, I don't like the thickness of this shape. That's okay, because what you can also do, if you remember correctly, is delete this and go back and use lines. Like, it doesn't take as long to make a box because the pillows is not a complicated design. You can go back and add the shape. I like to duplicate and turn it. Done. There's your pillow outline using lines. But again, you can definitely use shapes, and it's not complicated to do shapes. So this is the shape and the other one's the outline. So I'm going to duplicate it to show you the difference. So to speed up the process, you don't have to make every ball. What I just did was highlight what I wanted, and then I hit duplicate. So then I'm doing all those at once. Done. Turn this one. Now we gotta do the sides. And we're done. So this is the outline of the pillow, the flat of it. And this one literally took me a few minutes, and it was just using the shapes. Again, if you wanted to do all through lines, you could. The only thing about lines, you can't really do a circle. There is limitations. This would be your circle if you had some curves. And it's up to you how technical, again, if you want to get. Like if you really wanted to go in there and make every circle from lines, that is up to you. Let me zoom in so you can see that. You can do that, flip it. And then there you go, you have your circle. But that is going to be extra tedious. So it's up to you how detailed or how information that you want to do. This pillow took me a few minutes. I mean, it's up to you how you want to do it. But this one's all lines. So just to speed up the process, I'm going to, since I already did this, there. So this is the one using lines. This is the one using both shapes. So it was the square shape outline and the circle outline. This is the line, centimeter square, and then the circle outline. So this was a combo. But to give you an understanding of what you have to do is that, let's say I delete this. And you're like, great, well, how do I combine it all together? Well, you're gonna highlight it, hit group, and then you can shrink it if you need to, because it's all been grouped together. But let's say I wanna put this onto my storyboard. I'm gonna move my pillow up to my storyboard. Do you see how it's translucent? You're like, oh, you're gonna have to add a shape for it to be displayed. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna add a background. I'm gonna make it white just so you can see. You're gonna hit position, hit backwards. So now it's behind the design. You can make it as outline-ish as you want. And now you can see your flat a lot better. And then it's up to you if you want to put an extra shape in the background just to give it an outline like I did on this one, but you don't have to. Simply doing this on your storyboard gives it a more visible, making it more visible to the board. But that's it for flat. You definitely got to play around with it. And again, depending on your design, depends how tedious and time consuming it will be. But again, it's all doable. You don't have to do everything at once. You can take mini breaks. This took me good, I say 30 minutes, but I want to say maybe an hour, let's be honest. And then this one, because the design was more simple, it took me a few minutes. And again, think about shapes and lines. That is what a basic outline is of your design. Hopefully you found this video useful.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. And like always, I'm just Joss'n. Bye.